I'm hoping I could just talk to you today. Still in the book of Exodus on my travel through the Bible. I'm taking you on a Bible study with me. This is what I do in the mornings, just so that I can hear from God. And a very challenging time of my life, and going on a journey from being an employee to being a business owner and living in freedom. I thank God that I can pretty much get up when I want to get up and go to bed when I want to go to bed, but it's still challenging because there's still progress that needs to be made, whether in business or personally with my own kids and my grandkids. I'm sure a lot of you can relate. Uh, and it could be that some of you don't go through what I go through, which is uh, understanding what the high in business we call it the highest and best use of our time, of our ability, of our resources. What is my highest and best use? That's what I'm concerned about. What is it that God wants me to do to accomplish whatever it is that He wants me to accomplish? I've had vision for my life. I'm looking to see that vision come to pass. I don't get the sense that there's anything I can do to make it come to pass faster. But I kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like towards the end, which is kind of how I'll know if I was on the right track. That's the vision that I have. Kind of how it all ends, and it's a very peaceful existence and a very peaceful and serene place in my life. I'm excited about getting there. But in the meantime, what is it that God wants me to do? How do I see success happening in my life? I'd like to share with you a couple of things that are important to me. And maybe it'd be an encouragement to you as you're asking God, Lord, what do you want me to do with this life, this talent, what kind of progress? And I'm going to share it with you by also sharing with you the journey that Moses was on after crossing over the baptism, if you will, of the Red Sea. And the over 600,000 men that followed him, along with children, along with other people who weren't necessarily of the tribe of Israel. Because keep in mind, there were some wealthy Israelites as well, and those Israelites had servants as well. And at this point, there were many people from the society there, Egyptian, but outside of even Egyptian society. A lot of people believed in Moses, especially after he had done those miracles for them. He had proven himself out. He would be what we consider today a successful pastor, maybe prophet, evangelist, the whole deal, apostle. He did it all. I personally look at Moses as a big deal. I don't know if you picked up on that yet. So going to the Red Sea, understanding that he was being chased, he had proven himself out a lot. And the most interesting thing is, even after he had crossed over the Red Sea, to me, most interesting, uh, after he had crossed over the Red Sea, he was still proving himself over and over and over again to people that decided to follow him, right? Whether it was throwing the tree and sweetening the water, or bread and quail and what have you, water out of a rock, um, he was always still questioned. And he was never really moved by the questioning until he was moved. And maybe we'll get further into that story. But my point is, the proof is for progress, to keep going. Not only for the leader, but for those who are following and want to learn from the model. The proof is for progress. In other words, some people would say it this way: progress means proof. Well, maybe. But the proof is so that you can continue to move forward during your exploration period, which is within your desert experience. So in other words, being sustained through the process of walking out what God has shown you. I think it's more important to keep walking after proof has been given, instead of living for the progress to get to the next place. Let me tell you the reason why. And it seems like the same thing, but I don't think it is. I think it's more important the miracle is shown so that you can keep going. The miracles aren't given to you because you're whining. The miracles are given to you because God wants to encourage you to get to the next place that He has called you to. The next thing, the next investment, the next person that you're supposed to mentor, even though you're being spoken about in a bad way. No matter what people say about you, the progress is your proof. The progress is your proof. So let me see if I can test that. If I'm doing things for the purpose of progress, just progress, that's what I'm looking for. That's what's being preached to us in 2023. I'm doing it for the progress. What am I hoping for beyond the progress? Is a hope for anything beyond the progress even necessary? Am I working just to progress? Or do I have an expected hope? I know, strike that. I listen to some great speakers who say hope is useless. You don't need hope. It's all about the progress. The progress still leaves you thirsty. You need progress. Progress is just the proof you're going towards the expected hope. No matter what someone says about you does, leaves you hanging, whatever. If God keeps progressing you, He's saying keep going. You will reach a place of peace. I think about the first thing that comes to my mind is Joshua after the death of Moses, and he goes in and God comforts him and says, you know, relax. Don't let the faces scare you. And I'm paraphrasing, you know, but it is Joshua 1:9, I believe. But don't let the faces scare, because they still had to cross over the River Jordan to get to their place, and there was also on the other side, or on this side of the river, a place where Benjamin and another tribe were, but they went with their brothers across the Jordan to still fight the battle against the Philistines, the five lords of the Philistines, so that the people can have a place to rest. So there was an expected hope to get to a particular destination. But it doesn't mean all the problems go away. It means you come into a place of rest where you can handle the problems. That's the expected hope. You've been through it all before, and now you live to fight battles in a place where you're in a place of rest. Because as long as there's hot and cold, day and night, salt and pepper, I threw the salt and pepper part in there. Lorry seasoning, come on now, lemon. Sorry, I'm going somewhere else. Anyway, but as long as there's hot and cold, day and night, there will always be challenges in this life. But you will get to a place in your life where you can handle the challenges and you're still living in, you guessed it, your seventh day of rest. Aren't you happy I did this short period of time this time? I'm happy.